country left who ever learned what the semicolon is. You got to be old. They don't know what semicolons are anymore. People don't even use punctuation when they text. It just runs on forever.
I use them every day. You can look at the pad. There's semicolons all over
Semicolon?
the place. I'm the last of the semicolon rangers. Me.
No,
Me. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Dodgers bullpen blows it. Oklahoma State explains why it fired Mike Gundy, and Steve Young joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with baseball and movements towards the playoffs. The Cleveland Guardians beat Tarek Skubal and the Tigers last night 5-2, putting Cleveland and Detroit in a tie for the AL Central lead. The Mets came back from 6 down against the Cubs, and they won 9-7 to put them 1 game clear in the NL wildcard, ahead of both Cincinnati, who lost, and Arizona, who won. And the Yankees and the Mariners clinched playoff berths with wins last night. Wilbon, what was the biggest deal among these developments?
Tone, to me, it was the Guardians beating Skubal in a way that was preposterous. I mean, they in the 6th inning, they get like a couple of bunt hits. They get on with 2 bunts. There's an infield grounder. They have 3 guys hit safely to start the inning, and the ball no ball reaches 40 feet in the infield.
Right.
And you're like, what does Skubal have to do? Then you get this crazy circumstance where a foul ball goes into somebody's face and busts him up, but it was a foul ball. It wasn't a hit batter. And all of a sudden, they spray a couple of hits opposite field, and they get to Skubal, and they win this game. And Skubal was just breezing along until he got to the 6th. And you're like, okay, Detroit's going to cling to this lead. But the Guardians, they pitch too. And Jose Ramirez, I think, is the most underrated player in the last 10 years in all of baseball. Because all he does is whatever his team needs the Guardians to win. And so I care more about that matchup, Cleveland and Detroit being the son of the Midwest. I'm fascinated by it. I'm going to be fascinated by it again tonight. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to try to predict it. I just want to consume it.
Okay, so we are going to have a dull show today because I'm not going to disagree with anything you said. I was watching MLB Network last night, which is really good. So I got to see a little bit of most of these things that we're talking about. And the picture that I cannot get out of my mind is in the 6th inning at Cleveland, when Skubal goes to field a bunt and then decides to throw it backwards between his legs to the first baseman. It goes way over the first baseman's head, and I'm sitting there literally saying to myself out loud, what are you doing? What are you doing? As you say, there's a 2-0 lead for Detroit. It ends up 3-2 at the end of that inning for Cleveland. Cleveland never looks back. Nothing leaves the infield. But it felt, Mike, like a meltdown by both Skubal and the Tigers. I mean, because there's a wild pitch. There's a ball.
Yeah, it was a wild
There's
pitch.
a lot of things that happen right in there. And this guy is the best pitcher in the league. So now Detroit has lost 7 in a row and 10 out of 11. 19 of their batters struck out last night out of 27 outs. Cleveland is now 16-2 in the last 18. And again, as you pointed out, holds a team under 3 runs in the game. The momentum is with them. You know, I thought you were going to mention the Cubs because the Mets should never have won that game. Being down by 5 runs like that, 6-1, never win that game. Let's stay with baseball. Concentrate on pitching. The Cubs starter, Cade Horton, who was 11-4 on the year with a 2.67 ERA, left last night's game against the Mets after 3 innings with stiffness in his back. Shohei Ohtani went 6 innings for the first time all season, striking out 8, giving up 5 hits, no runs. And the Dodgers bullpen blew the game, as they have done routinely lately. So, Wilbon, which is the more concerning pitching issue from last night?
Well, you just mentioned it. The Dodgers routinely blow leads, the bullpen, so that ain't it. It's Cade Horton. And by the way, Cade Horton came out after he finished the 3 innings. He's in the dugout. You don't know if he's going to leave. You don't know what's going on. And Craig Counsell is very careful with him. This may be the result of some weird thing, illness, coughing, stiff back. It doesn't seem like something serious, but the Cubs have had a meltdown. The Cubs were the only team in baseball not to lose 4 straight games all season, and now they've lost 5 straight. And they lost them to the Reds. They just gave them away. I understand resting people. Not only am I not a critic of Craig Counsell, I'm a big supporter of him. I think he's done a great job. But the Cubs have just flatlined in the last week of the regular season. It is so cuppish, and I am so angry now as I sit not far from Wrigley Field, where we will play the Mets again tonight. But Horton has to be whole. So getting him out of there after 3 innings as a precaution is the wise thing. He's our ace, even if you have Imanaga start game 1 in the playoffs. But we haven't wrapped it up against the Padres for home field yet. Cubs, what the hell are you doing?
So I knew that you were going to talk about Horton. You watch every Cubs game. I know you're thrilled that they're in the playoffs. I know that. But the thing about Horton is a couple of numbers matter. Since the All-Star game, he's got an 8-1 record and a 1.03 ERA.
Yes.
So if he can't pitch, if something's wrong, your head is going to explode.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the Dodgers here in the bullpen for the very simple reason that no starter goes more than 7. Most go maybe 6 innings. You've got to have a bullpen. If you don't have a bullpen, you can't get to the World Series. It's that simple. Let's go to some numbers. Shohei Ohtani has now gone in the last 3 starts, 16 2/3 innings, shutout ball in a row.
Oh, my God.
If you count his last 4 starts, his ERA is 0.46, and the Dodgers can't win the games. In September, their bullpen ERA, I don't care about the bell, is 5.23. I got a better stat for you. In the Dodgers' last 7 losses, all 7 have been on relievers, okay? Tanner Scott lost 2 of them, including last night. He now has 10 blown saves. His ERA is 4.91. In the last 4 road games he's gotten into, he's allowed the winning run on a walk-off. Blake Trinan has 5 of these 7 losses.
Your boy,
from the Nats, my boy. Yeah, my boy. He's 1-7 with a 5.55 ERA. So let me repeat this again. Dodgers, I believe, are the best team in baseball. But if they have no bullpen, you got to get Clayton Kershaw into the bullpen or somebody else. This is not going to work.
Do that.
Not going to work.
By the way, the Cubs were up 5-1 last night. Their bullpen was no better. They blew a 5-1 lead in Wrigley with the wind blowing in. What? What did I mean?
Bad loss. Bad loss helped my team of my youth. I'm happy.
Summer.
Mets won.
And now 5 straight
Mets.
losses. Very angry. So let's go to college football and a follow-up on Oklahoma State's firing of longtime head coach Mike Gundy. OSU's athletic director explained last night that he made the move when he did because of the team's 1-2 start, despite the school making significant recent investments. Also, to quote, start the process of getting the program where we want it to be, close quote. Tone, this was Gundy's 21st season in Stillwater. Didn't he deserve to finish the damn season?
So this is a tough question for me because the team was not performing at all. It was obvious.
They're bad. They're terrible.
They got blown out by Oregon after Gundy ran his yap about how Oregon had an unfair advantage with NIL money from Nike. The score was 69-3. That was a deliberate score because they pulled back in the 4th quarter. They didn't score any points in the 4th quarter. Then Gundy loses to Tulsa in Stillwater for the first time in literally over 70 years. Tulsa has no business beating Oklahoma State. So the season is already gone. And so if you want to fire somebody, I understand that. Virginia Tech fired somebody. UCLA fired somebody. But, and here's the big but, 21 years, as you are saying. The best coach ever in football at Oklahoma State.
He's their John Wooden.
8 different times. 8 different times he had 10 wins or more. Okay? He had winning seasons 18 straight years. He went to 18 bowl games. His record is 170-90, and the pièce de résistance, he's a grad. He went to school at Oklahoma State. I'm sorry, you can't do this then. You owe him the courtesy of letting him finish out the year. Mike, I don't think that Gundy disgraced Oklahoma State, and I'm beginning to think Oklahoma State disgraced Gundy.
It's a cheesy, low-rent move. And don't tell me you have to get out there in the marketplace and hire a coach because UCLA fired one already and Virginia Tech fired one already. I mean, come on. This guy, he's your guy. He's your John Wooden. He's your Bob Knight. What are you doing? I mean, so twice in the last, I don't know, every 10 years or so, he says something crazy for a moment, and we can make fun of him. But the guy goes out there and wins, and he's got tough opposition. He's not playing some cream puff schedule. So, no, it was a low-rent move by Oklahoma State. You wait till the end of the season, and you thank him, and you move him up if he doesn't want to coach anymore. You don't do this. That was just low.
I don't mind that you want to fire him. I don't like the timing of it.
Not
Things
in the
go
middle
bad
of the
every once in a
season.
while.
It's
going bad in Clemson. Do you think they're going to do this to Dabo Swinney?
Well,
they're not going to do this to Dabo.
No,
this is wrong.
I don't think
Not in the middle. No. Not in the middle. Let's take a break. Still to come, Jackson Dart makes his first NFL start Sunday, and we will ask Steve Young whether the Giants have... We've got some NFL questions for our great friend, the man I mentored in our time together on the LA Express. Hall of Fame quarterback Steve Young. Let's start with this. The Giants are going to start Jackson Dart at home on Sunday against the 3-0 Chargers. Team looks pretty good. As a rookie, how would you feel about this being your first test?
Look, if you're worried about it, that's a huge problem. Like, it's the NFL. It's coming at you. You're not, there's no way to get ready for it. There's nothing you better just be excited about. I remember maybe my second start, we go to Chicago in 1985. And the 85 Bears, Mike, you remember those days. And I walked in, we went out warm up, and we come back in the locker room, and Jimmy Ray's my offensive coordinator. He comes in, he sits next to Steve. Listen, man, I want you to be careful out there tonight. And I'm like, no, I'm trying not to throw too many picks. You know? He goes, no, I mean, like, you could get killed. Like, like I could die. I could die. And it was close. It was close. But I would love that, to someone to go into Jackson Dart and say, hey, bro, be careful out there. You could die. But it's not going to happen. Look, what he needs, Tony, is he needs a running game. Young quarterback, every quarterback does, but young quarterbacks need the running game, so at least they can do play action, turn their back, do the things they thought they could do in college, and they have not run the ball well. Last week, not bad. Cam ran it better, but 28th in the league, and I think this week probably in the mid-20s. I mean, if the Giants are going to support a rookie quarterback, you got to be in the top 10 running team, and that's got to change fast.
Steve, I don't want you to have any nightmares or anything, but I watched Sunday's game at Soldier Field with Richard Dent and Otis Wilson. Just to mention that, just throwing that out there, so you can hear it.
I remember. I got tattoos of it all, scars.
Those guys are still around. All right, so I'm watching the game, and I'm watching Lamar Jackson the other night, and I was mortified because I keep seeing guys catch him from behind, and I see him in scrums that he often, for years, emerged from at 100 miles an hour, and I have this thought, and please feel free to tell me I'm nuts, that Lamar is losing or has lost some of his otherworldly burst as a guy who had burst. You know something about that? Am I crazy, or is this happening?
It's okay. Look, age has it's undefeated, right? But I'm not saying that's happening. But I'm saying it's okay if it happens. Because the truth is, we are developing Lamar Jackson into one of the most sophisticated passers in the NFL. And as we do that, that will unlock all of the ability that I've said it could be the world's greatest football player if we can get all the way there and the Ravens would fully commit. It's getting closer. So he doesn't need to be Barry Sanders anymore. It's awesome if he could. And the other thing I noticed over the years that I played, as time went on, I never lost the ability to make somebody miss. Even when I was last year 38 years old, I was like, I made people miss. It was fine. Maybe I wasn't quite as fast. And he's never going to lose that ability to do what he needs to do to threaten the line of scrimmage. It won't go away. And if he's lost a quarter of a step, it's fine, because what we're developing is him to be one of the best players that ever played a week. We're on our way.
A guy who hopes he's on his way is Caleb Williams, who had a terrific game Sunday, but it was just a bad